So the thing is, for your marriage to work, God must be the most important thing in your marriage first, because He's the founder of marriage. He's the one who introduced sex, and that we created man and woman. So He knew these people are not going to be cooking ugali. They have to be an intimate relationship with them. Sex before marriage is sin. And sometimes the trauma that comes is when you have that, like we talked about, guilt, and that's still a trauma because it started disturbing you. So you engage in sex before marriage, and now here you're married, but that guilt keeps you off enjoying your marriage sex because you feel like there's something I didn't work on, and that's the thing. It affects people. I've seen that happening because you feel like they're preaching about purity in marriage, but I was not pure before marriage. So it's still haunting. You see, it's something disturbing your mind. That's what you call trauma. Yeah? Disturbing your mind that, oh, how did I not wait? So it's not even about encounters, but even what I did before marriage. So until you allow God to work in your life, you'll be seeing men and not a man. So anyone who comes in your life, you are a lady who has been traumatized sexually, you'll be seeing the same patterns in your life. So you see the first man in this man, the second man in this man.
They're just the same.
Yeah, the same. But when God speaks to you and comes in your life, now you don't see men, you see a man. And you say, by the way, deep. I've seen 10 men, but I'm getting married to a man who is different. So allow me to speak to your life. The only thing is, if I did it in the past, God warns me, do not do it again. Go and don't
sin no more. Yes.
The same thing.
Yeah. Welcome to Unfold, where we see with a different eye and of course visualize with a colorful mind. My name is Hilda Lumati and I believe in sharing knowledge. I have authored a book that is dubbed Married a Virgin. And just in line with that, today we are going to have a very important conversation on sexual trauma, because I believe there are traumas that have been inflicted in you or anyone else. From childhood, from every season in our lives, there are things that are happening, and sometimes we find it's difficult to heal from that. And I thought Mentor Douglas will be the best person to help us delve into that. So karibuni sana. I hope you have clicked on this video with an open mind.
Hi everyone, my name is Douglas Agogo. I am born again, and I am married to one wife, Javi Mushogia, and we're blessed with 3 daughters. We've been married for the last 11 years. This is our 11th year, coming November 30th. And above all, I'm also a minister of the gospel. I'm an author. I'm also a teens and a youth mentor. I'm also a marriage expert. I also run a program, an organization that's called Mwanga Center Kenya Hub, that is focusing on shining the light of Christ onto families, which we do through the 3 programs I mentioned, the teens program, the marriage program, and also the couples program.
Mentor Douglas.
Yes.
Welcome to the show.
Asante sana.
I met you through these corridors of impact.
Amen.
And you're doing a lot.
Amen.
Just to help young people in life.
Yes, true.
You have authored how many books?
I've done 4 books. I'm on my 5th one.
You're on your 5th one.
In fact, I was supposed to be doing a book every year, so I've just delayed a bit. Yes.
You've done God, Me and Sex.
Yeah,
I think that's my favorite.
That was my first book in 2018. And then I've done The Foundation. And I did, after that, I did a teens guidebook on sexual purity for teenagers, a pocket book. And then I did, last year I did a book on the Singles Foundation Manual to help young people to understand the purpose and why they get into a dating scene. And then I also have done a teens manual for parents on how to parent teenagers. Yeah, because I've interviewed teenagers, so the gap between teenagers and the parents is big. So I did a manual for the parents.
Wow.
Then lately I'm working on a manual for premarital classes that couples can use both post-marital or even before they get into marriage. Yeah.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the God, Me and Sex.
Yes.
Maybe you can just briefly tell us what the book is about, because I believe that can relate to our today's conversation. Yeah.
Most people love that topic, eh? When they see the headline, God, Me and Sex, they're like, oh. But now what came to my mind is to help people understand between the 3, God, Me and Sex. What is the procedural, maybe understanding of marriage when the three are in place. Because marriage entails God, marriage entails sex, then marriage entails your spouse, which is me.
Wow.
Yes, so God, me, and sex is just to help us understand that, you know what, sex is not even the main cake in the marriage. And that's why now we look at that talk.
Say that again.
Yeah. Sex is not only the main cake in the marriage.
Yeah.
In fact, it's an icing on the cake. So sometimes it melts away. And then what remains is now the two of you. So God and you are the main ingredient in the cake. Sex just as a superficial thing.
Okay.
Meaning you can do without sex. But you can't do without your spouse, you can't do without God.
Without God, yeah.
Yes. So God, me, and sex means God first, and then your spouse, and then sex. Why? Because when you glorify sex, then you'll be able to not consider your wife or your spouse as important. If you glorify your spouse beyond God, then now you won't even be seeing God in your marriage. So the thing is, for your marriage to work, God must be the most important thing in your marriage first, because it's the founder of marriage. He's the one who introduced sex, and that's created man and woman. So he knew these two people are not going to be cooking ugali.
Yeah.
They have to be an intimate relationship with them.
Yes.
And then now your spouse. So when you have God in your marriage, or you set God to be the standard for your marriage, and then now your spouse. Because some people really put their spouses before God.
Wow.
And then some people put sex before their spouses. So even if the spouse is not feeling well, the spouse is not okay, for them it's, I need this, I need this. Yeah, so God, me, and sex come just to bring out the picture about marriage, how marriage works. Let sex be the last thing that you'll always be probably pushing. If you do it right with God, you do it right with the spouse, sex becomes easy.
Wow.
And that's why if you cook, you've done these things. If your cake is okay, people don't even go for the icing. The icing is always, most people don't eat icing.
Yeah,
icing.
that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
But they'll be looking for the ingredient.
Yeah.
And they'll tell you, but the way I love the cake, I did love the icing. Yeah, so when God is in it, when your spouse is well treated in that marriage, sex is easy.
That's powerful.
Accessible.
That is powerful.
Yeah.
And when you're talking about sex, there are a lot of people who have gone through a lot, unfortunately.
Very true.
Some of them, it's not even their fault.
Yeah.
And today we are talking about sexual traumas.
Yeah.
Because there's guilt involved, there's shame, there is, fear. There's a lot that comes with it.
Bitterness,
Yes, bitterness. Let's talk about sexual trauma. Maybe you can just help us define what is sexual trauma.
From the word, maybe let's start with the word trauma. Trauma means something that is depressing, disturbing, fearful, and it comes out of an experience. So when someone talks about I'm traumatized, it is because of an experience that they've had before. Trauma does not come out of nowhere. There must be something. Either someone, let's say someone who fears spiders, and they'll tell you it's because I was once bitten by one, and this is what affected me.
Yes.
I remember there's a cousin, I think it's my mom, who sometimes back she had her arm really highly infected by, just because of a bite of not even a bite. I think this big spider, I think it landed on part of her arm, and then I think because of that venom, that arm has been having issues. It has left a very big scar. So from there, such a person will be fearing what? Spiders. And they'll be like, I know because of experience. The same way to sexual traumas.
Yeah.
So from the word sexual, it means is an experience that someone had that is either through sexual act or sexual encounters that has left them fearful, depressed, and probably disturbed. So that's of course sexual trauma. An experience that you had previously in terms of sexual encounters. It might be just by probably an engagement that is intimate, or probably what was leading to the same. Because it might not be that maybe because of a sexual experience with someone that has given you that, but maybe also because of what you have seen around. So sometimes it can be a personal experience or an experience that you have seen from other people. So either you've been raised up in a very, let's say, conflict family that has a lot of conflicts, or maybe your friend that you're very close to, maybe, let's talk about maybe as you're young, someone took advantage of them and you're able to see, or maybe have an experience through them. So that can give sexual traumas. Yeah.
And when we talk about sexual traumas, for us to detect that this is something that is going to cause a sexual trauma thing, what are some of the types of sexual trauma?
One, and mostly these things comes out of childhood experiences. In most
That's
cases,
true, that's true.
yeah, in most cases, trauma doesn't happen, especially for the sexing, because you see traumas are different. Someone can have maybe a traumatized because of an experience. Like last time you had something investigate, and even in along just somewhere, I've got in Westland, the one that was recent one. But now, if someone was in that place and he had the shootings and all those things, the same person, even if he sits here with you, or she sits here with you, and then she hears a loud bang, she'll get a bit of goosebumps because there's an experience that she has been able to experience. When it comes to sex, it's the same thing. But in most cases, sexual traumas don't happen in our old age unless it's maybe a first encounter. But they happen during our childhood experiences. When you're growing up, though you said mostly it's the environment or the exposure. I'll be able to say this, be very careful. There's a scenario I was handling, around 3-4 scenarios just this year, of teenagers who their childhood experience has really affected them. So I'll give examples anonymously. So one had an experience when they went to the coast with the parents, and it's a very sad thing. And just because they were just having those moments in the evening they'd go for a retreat with the parents, and someone took advantage of this girl. She was 8 years old.
8 years?
Yes. And the lady remembers this man trying to, she didn't even have an encounter sexually, but this guy was really molesting. Yeah, in the evening when this lady just went out to see how the oceans look like, someone took advantage of him. So when she started screaming, the guards came, and then she had to go back to their room. So since then, that trauma has caused her to really have a different understanding of men. And because of that, she decided to get into what you call lesbianism. Yes. Why? Because she said, I think if this is what a man can do to me, then I don't think they are safe men. So I am safe around ladies. So they come back, and now at her teenager, even she's now in that. Another lady also who was molested sexually by a close friend, family, not a cousin. Like you see, you normally say, hey, the cousin is at home, oh, let's come and stay with her. I remember the other day, Bishop was telling us, Bishop J.B. Masinde, talking about parenting, that even if you have friends of your daughters and friends of my son, when we give them that leeway to visit us, just the friends, in the hood, they come and stay in the house, put boundaries. If your friends come to visit, let them stay in the sitting room. No getting into the bedroom or kitchen. So this is a young girl, and even the cousins. Nowadays things are bad. Yeah, I think exposure is too much.
It's too much.
And most of these young people want to experiment, and the easier they can do it by the person closer to them.
Yeah.
So this young girl also went through the same thing when she was about, I think, at her early teen, and then the cousin came. The cousin had an experience with her, forced her into sex. And then when she wanted to tell the mom about it, the mom said, "You're exaggerating." And from then, this is so worse. This girl has decided to do what? To get into the opposite side. So she told me, "Douglas, lesbian because of choice, because of the experience, and because of my parents not supporting me." So you have such things, and even some that now, when someone gets into sexual encounters, even rape, when someone gets into a rape case, especially when they're ladies, they'll have a fear of even engaging into sex with someone else because of that experience. So it has even marriages, and that becomes a place of, I think, where we're losing in as a society. So I'll say it's a journey that starts from as early as you're exposed to it, and it affects you even in a marriage. Yeah.
And I love the part that you've said it affects you even in your marriage.
Yeah.
Maybe let me just throw this question in there. In our marriages today, how far is too far? You know, when you get married, you're supposed to give your conjugal rights to your husband or your wife. Do you think there's rape in marriages?
Yeah. You see, sex in marriage is supposed to be something they don't even look for. It's supposed to be enjoyed mutually. Of course, sex is mutual. But you see, we talk about trauma. Traumas are not physical, because anything that is traumatizing is mental.
Okay.
Yeah. So when you talk about someone has maybe sexual traumas, even exposure to traumas, is because of what they've been able to go through. It's been recorded. So even in marriage, because people think that sex is not physical, but sex is more than physical. Sex is both spiritual, and then it starts in the mind. So if your mind is not prepared for sex, then the physical will just be there because of our conjugal experiences under it. So I normally say, that's what you said, if you don't work on your traumas before getting into marriage, the thing could be functioning into a marriage covenant out of maybe submission, or because you're trying to salvage that marriage, but your past is still haunting you. Because if you have not healed up, especially the first encounters, even the first encounters during honeymoon, especially for I'll say for people who have been waiting on God before they get into marriage, that they have to break the virginity during the honeymoon.
Yes.
Or even after, because sometimes even during the honeymoon nothing happens.
That's true.
If this person is not really handled well during that honeymoon stage, during the first encounter, both the man and the lady, because sometimes we'll think about ladies having an encounter that probably give them maybe a traumatizing experience throughout life, because maybe the lady was a virgin, she's never had this, and then maybe that forceful engagement maybe cause some pain. So this lady will be fearing anytime when the man probably advanced for sex because of the experience they had.
Yes.
But at the same time, men also go through the same. We also do PMCC and even post-marital counseling. You've heard of guys who will say, I think Douglas have an issue because I feel I don't satisfy my wife. Why? Because the first encounter, both of them were new in this. And the man, because of the first encounter of seeing this lady, the lady being there for them, the man did not probably function for the longer time. And the lady maybe just post a word. Sometimes just a word. It's crazy. So that's how you're done. That become a trauma to him. So this man will be fearing to have sex because she was given a comment with the wife that you're done. Me, I'm not even there. So what have you done to me? Because of that experience. So when it comes to marriage, when now you don't work on those things, then if it's a lady, I'll be forcing sex to a man. We just give in because probably of that marital conjugal rights. If it's a lady, she's also going to give in, but just because it's my husband. Why? And that's what we call rape. Rape is not whereby I put you down, then I step on you, tie your legs and tie your hands. But rape is also whereby there is no consent. That's still rape. Because I forced you what you didn't want to do.
Yes.
So in marriage, there's what we call, in quotes, rape in marriage. But there's no consent, there's no agreement, there's no mutual giving. Yeah. But all that comes because of early childhood traumas. So I'm trying to look at this girl who, of course, is now okay. She's now out of lesbianism, but she fears. I'll say another part of the day that we are facing issues with lesbianism and all these things because of how we've been raising our kids. If your daughter sees you beating me beating the mom, why do you see my daughter married? No. And the same cases, I've seen a girl to know, do I see my mom being treated by my dad? I don't think it's good. So I better remain single or not be married. Or because of this, I see ladies are very calm. So I get in the other side of life. Why? Childhood traumas. Sex before marriage is sin.
Yes.
And sometimes the trauma that comes is when you have that, like we talked about guilt, and that's still a trauma because it started disturbing you. So you engage in sex before marriage, and now here you're married, but that guilt keeps you off enjoying your marriage sex because you feel like there's something I didn't work on. And that's the thing, it affects people. I've seen that happening because they feel like they're preaching about purity in marriage, but I was not pure before marriage. So it's still haunting. You see, it's something disturbing your mind. That's what we call trauma. Yeah? Disturbing your mind that, how did I not wait? So it's not even about encounters, but even what I did before marriage, the things I used to watch. People used to watch maybe pornography, things like probably the blue movies. When you get married, the experiences you get from those things, they try to tell you that you can do the same thing. But you discover that you really defiled yourself, you really messed up yourself. That is a guilt, that is a thought that is depressing, that is trauma. So even what we did before getting married, the things we used to do, maybe you engaged yourself before marriage with someone who was not your wife, then now you get married. Of course, you confess to your wife, but it's still eating you up. It affects marriage. So I'll say sexual traumas are a very big problem, even to the current marriage, because of experiences. Yeah, so I think it's a big thing to work on as young people. Yeah.
Now, when we talk about sexual trauma, there are things that have happened to people and they're finding it hard to heal.
Yes.
The healing process, I think the healing process is work, and it takes intentionality. There are people, things have happened to them and they don't believe in God anymore. They even mad at God, like, where were you when this was happening? So maybe you can just take us through the healing process. How does that look like, and how can we do it?
I think it's a place of choice. You see, I was just even remembering the stories about, because we talk about sexual traumas, like I said, let's separate, not really tag only on the sexual act, even the experiences around us.
Yeah.
Like I said, if I'm young and you're young and you see all of us are maybe going to school, you see someone, or maybe take over one of the friends of ours and then maybe run with them, do something to them. Even for us, we'll be fearing that, hey, this is how men behave. It's very fearing. A group of ladies see the way it has happened. Or a lady come and tells about how she was used and misused by a man. You see, in that content, you'll be like, hey, this is how men behave.
Yeah.
It now, you see. So the traumas are also, I can say, the environment you're in, the act, of course, and even the way you are raised around, the people around you. Yeah, so when you talk about healing process, because I think the healing process is the one that people need to work on.
Yes.
Especially if you now get into a new life, that is marriage, that is getting born again, especially for the Christian. Because one thing that you need to do is just to surrender your fears to God. I think the only challenge we have is we fear, we have those traumas, then you hold on to them.
Yeah.
So you're trying to work on them by trying to be nice. I think it's just putting a bandage on an open wound that is bleeding, and it will affect your marriage. It will affect your relationship with people around you. Even if you're working in an office, especially this one, and you had a trauma of an experience of a man,
Yes.
I don't believe you'll be able to be safe where men are if you've not worked on it, because any man to you is a threat, is eating you up. Yeah. So I think if you need to heal up is to really seek for guidance, that is reconciliation through counseling, or probably the best you can do is now what the Bible said, faith comes by hearing and hearing the word of God.
Yes.
Get healing through the word of God. I was telling someone that faith, because through faith we get born again, and through faith we believe there is heaven. We have not seen heaven. Through faith we receive miracles.
Yes.
The same faith that guarantees you salvation, the same faith that can guarantee you forgiveness. So because faith redeems us from our sins, The symptoms of faith can redeem us from our past. So what do is work on today by believing that God can heal you so that the past can be erased. So the best thing is seek counsel, especially professional counselors. And then number 2 is the best you can do is just pour your heart to God. And then the third thing is speak it out to the spouse if you're married. Let them know what you went through. Yeah. Because one of the things is we hide, and then it's supposed to be like, hey, what's happening nowadays? Why is it that we talk about sex, you fear when probably I touch you? It happens, you like trying to resist. Am I forcing me to this? And those things happen. So let this man know, or this lady know, by the way, I have some fears. This and this happened to me in the past. So anytime I see you moving close to me, I feel like I remember. Because I think if you don't blot out the past, you can't enjoy the present. And you can't even embrace the future. So work on talking to the person. For the teenagers who have gone through the same traumas, I'll recommend, because some of them say that I've told my mom that she doesn't want it to come out because this is a close family member. So ukisema hii so the best you can do is seek counsel, the teenagers. Talk to someone that you think can understand you, or talk to a mentor. For those who are young, maybe young adults who want to get married, don't start dating before you work on your past. Let this man know that, by the way, you're not dating a virgin. Some of the things that will happen is, when you get into marriage, and this man thought you're a virgin, then they're like, by the way, you lied to me.
That's a problem.
And then let them know the experience that you had that broke your virginity. Was it a rape? Was it force? And even the trauma that normally happen is the trauma of losing a child. I've heard of a place whereby there's a couple who was struggling to get a baby for 5 years. And it happened that now, when they went to the doctor, the lady had not told the man that he went through a forceful sexual experience that made her become pregnant with her former boyfriend. And when she became pregnant, she had to abort. When she aborted, it was wrongly done. They cut the uterus.
Oh my God.
So when they went for the counseling, for the doctor, the doctor said, the man is okay. The lady, there's a problem with the uterus. Can you give her a history? The lady started crying. That, oh, but I'm sorry, this is what happened. I did this and this. You see, it came late. So what happened? The man said, how much more have I not known about you? That broke the marriage. But I'm trying to understand, if this lady could have told this man before that, Douglas, I know you love me so much, but I'm not coming from a good past. This is what happened in the past. I went through this, because I know the lady was, why she was not speaking up, because she was traumatized. She was afraid to speak it out. She was having guilt, like you mentioned, a lot of shame, and a lot of fear. And if she could have said to this man, this is what happened to me, and this what resulted, and I had to do an abortion because I was still in school, and I was fearing this and this will happen to me. So to get into marriage, understand this is what happened. So the man could have got to the marriage akijua, my wife had an abortion. And they could have done all those checkups, but the man also that this could be corrected by, I don't know how they do the uterus so that they can be able to talk about the baby. So talk about it before. I think we are facing issues because people don't speak.
People don't speak. And the aftermath of speaking out is the beginning of healing.
So if you speak up, it will be able to be the first journey for your healing. So speak to this man. If you're dating, this is happening to me. Or the man say, this happened to me. Whenever men go through rape, I encountered in an office with this lady, and I think it was a good experience. Or even virtual messages. They also affect our mental health. So I've been able to be exposed to this and this as a young person. Maybe the man can say, I was watching this when I was young, or used to watch a lot of pornography, and it has given a different side of a man. So when I look at you, I see you as a tool. So kuna experience now ya pornography na expect from them. So when I get married, it affects me. So when you talk about it before, then the man will be able to do what? To heal. So like you said, speak it out, start healing. Speak it out, seek counsel. The best you can do is seek God. Just tell God, I'm getting this, but I think I've messed up. Because when we believe God has healed us through our sicknesses, then God can also heal us through our wounds in the past. Because we think we are putting God in a corner, that God can only heal, provide, deliver. Yeah? But God can't forget my past. In my past, no, He forgives. Yeah, so I think the best you can do, heal. I know many marriages, many ladies who are not married right now because of an encounter in the past. One, like I said, not because it was done to her. I know of a lady who we interviewed her sometimes back. She went into a married relationship, but she discovered the man was lying, he was cheating. So the man used to, after they got married, the man used to come in their home, and get off the wife from the bed and bring the ladies in the house. Those are trauma.
Yeah.
So for her, she feels like, by the way, if this is what a man can do to me, then I don't trust men. So what do? Let me leave alone. So you see, it's affecting generations.
Yes.
So someone who had a plan for future, even for probably having a family, because of even cheating is a trauma.
Yeah, yeah.
That's true. Someone cheated on you.
Yes.
So what happens? I don't think like men are safe, or ladies are safe. This lady by the way decided, Douglas, me with marriage, and why? I've had an experience. That was called trauma. The man I trusted, the man I loved, the man I thought loved me, could be had someone else. So you see, it's a trauma because it's an experience. It was not really you in it, but you saw it happening. So what you can do is, I think, let's live right. If you're a family man, a family woman, how you relate in your marriage with your wife and husband, with them make this teenager, young girl, young boy, see marriage differently and see men differently, see ladies different, or make these people love marriage and say, by the way, when I get married, I trust God for such a family that the dad and the mom does this. If the opposite happens, they'll be like,
upbringing.
Yeah, upbringing. So let's live right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's talk about forgiveness, because most of the time, people who have gone through sexual assault and all that, they find it hard to forgive the perpetrator, the person who did it.
Yeah.
And there's something that I learned recently, that when you forgive, you're not doing it for the other person, you're doing it for yourself, so that God can continue using you and teaching you and, helping you. So what do you think about forgiveness, especially forgiving yourself and the other person? Let's talk about the power of forgiveness.
I love the word power.
Yes.
So forgiveness is a power itself. Yeah, both the offender and to the offended, but mostly to the offended. But also forgiveness does not erase the past.
Yeah.
It doesn't erase the past.
Yes.
It only shows that you're making amends with yourself. I'll give a story to that so that you can pick it from there. Okay. There's a young lady who was sharing with me in campus, and she said she was just around in the room. Then one evening she was a bit bored and she was like, where do I go? So people are like, there's a party here, there's a party, there's a party here. So she decided, a friend of hers told her, let's go to this bash. Let's attend it for the sake of it. But there's a Friday, I'm bored, so she attended the bash. So she went there, and then she was the only stranger. This friend of ours was a friend to the people who have the bash. So she went there, and then the house was full. There were a lot of music, drinking, dancing, fun. And then around 3 a.m. in the night, this friend of her, the drinks ran out, so they had to go and buy other drinks. So this friend of her and a few guys, they left to go and buy drinks. So she remained there as a stranger with other men around. So she was watching around, and she seen the DJ. Since I came to this house, the DJ has not been taking any drinks, so the DJ is a bit sober. Others have been taking, for her she's also sober because she was only taking normal drinks. So she said, but I'm safe in this place. So she saw the DJ, customer, hey, if this guy's not taking alcohol, then it might be the best. I'm a bit safe. So she went to the washroom, and the washrooms were the sitting room, then there's a door that separates the sitting room to the balcony that has the washroom. So she went to the balcony to the washroom. Then in the washroom, she discovered that someone knocked on the door. So she said, no, someone is in, like, we cannot get in. Oh, someone is inside. So she So these guys wanted to go to the washroom, so wait. So when she was leaving the washroom, so this guy can get in, the guy forced him in. The DJ, who she thought was the safest man.
Yes.
So the DJ, of course, forcing him. Then this DJ slept with him, raped her this lady. In the same process, the lady still, the DJ, the other man came in. So there were two men with one lady. So they raped her. So they raped this lady. So I'm saying this because you can look at the journey. Innocently, she walked into the bush. Because in the place of her forgiving her decisions to join, and then forgiving these guys. So she went in, she was raped. And this guy did a lot of things. They even settled bottles in her private parts. It was bad. She was waiting, she was crying. And she was like, oh, what happened? So these two men who raped her were college mates. So the case was taken, a lot of DNA, these guys were arrested. But because of corruptions that happens around, these guys were released. So the girl is in campus, she sees the same guys meeting with them at the gate when she's getting out. So like, these are the same guys did to me. They've been released. And she felt so bad. She felt so disturbed. She was like, I can't even stand seeing these guys. So what I'm trying to say is, you see these guys who offended her, who raped her, and now her. So there's a decision that she made, and now what happened? So she needs to forgive herself first, then forgive these people, because she was in bitterness. I told her, no, what, let's do this. If this thing happened, you can't reverse it, but you can work on your thoughts so that you can be able to see the best out of your life. But she was like, I'm so desperate, I'm not even worth, because my privacy was taken advantage of, my work is being shielded off, and these men took advantage of. So I see them, so how do they see me? So I told her, this is what. Every time you look at them, how do you feel? I feel bad. I feel like I can kill. I feel like I can run away from this place. Then I told them, no, these same guys, maybe when they look at you, they might have two things. Either they feel they did wrong to you, and they're afraid, they're looking forward to saying, I'm sorry, or they are like, we did it. So I told her, do this thing. Assume that their thoughts are their thoughts. So let's assume they want to come and seek for forgiveness. Will you say, I forgive you? She said, yes, I'll forgive them. So I said this, before they come, forgive them.
Wow.
So do this. Tell yourself, Douglas, I think I made a mistake. Because you were like, I did wrong. How could I do it? Tell yourself you did it, but ask God to forgive you. Forgive yourself. I did this, but I think I've learned a lesson. Because some of these things, they give us a lesson. So say, I did this, I think I learned a lesson. I better have stayed in my room. But now, it teaches you not to do the same thing next time. So forgive yourself, accept you made the mistakes, because forgiveness will become accept, then look at the evidence of what happened, and then the lesson that you learned from it. So that's it's true. So we prayed, then she said, but then I'm sorry to myself. I know I could have still been a virgin by now, but I accept the mistake I made. This is what I did. I could have not gone for that bash, but it happened. I forgive myself. I'm still worth. I'm still worthy. I'm still the best girl. I'm still growing up to be the best lady. So I need to love myself more. So she had to love herself. Then I told her, now do this. After loving myself, just forgive these people. If you can't face them, just tell God, I forgive them. I release them. So when you meet them, you look at them in a way that they will treat me, but me, I forgive you. So forgiveness is key. First of all, is forgive yourself. Even if someone did it for you, forgive yourself. If you did it on your own by maybe getting your sexual encounters when you're still young, by watching or doing things, tell yourself, now that I know what I did wrong, I'm learning from it. So don't stay in the same mud. Because when you stay in the same mud, normally say, when you're in the muddy place, the mud can be commandant. If you don't get out of the mud, whether the rains are falling, let's say the rains are very clean. So when the rain is raining, when you're in the mud, you still become dirty. So there's nothing that's happening. Because whether we talk to you and you've not moved from that place, you're not helping you. So what are you supposed to do? You move. So that even as you speak now life into you, that life comes out. But before you move from the mud, whether the rains are coming 100 drops per day, the mud will still be coming to you. So forgive yourself and walk out of the mud. and then now release other people.
Yeah, that is very powerful. And we need to allow God in our situations.
He's the only standard for forgiveness. Because for him, when he forgives you, he doesn't come back and ask you, what did you do this last time? For some of us, if God could come and remind us of our sins, then we will not be on these shows. But because we believe he forgave us, then we know when he forgave us, then you are forgiven.
Yes.
So because we are forgiven, we've been redeemed. Because we've been redeemed, we've been justified. Because we've been justified, now we are his son.
Wow.
So look at everything that has happened to that. No, it's for a season, for a lesson, but God came in and washed me. I think forgiveness is important because maybe scripturally, if you look at the book of John chapter 4, 21 to 25, the story of the woman at the well. She had traumas, encountered with men. The first man, I love you so much, the best, I'm going to marry you. And then sexual encounters, the man ran away. Then this lady was like, I thought this man loved me. The second man came, get the same vibe, maybe a bit different, that a bit loaded. The lady felt like, wow, and now for the man. The third man came, the fourth man came, the fifth man came. And that's why when Jesus appeared in the scene, the lady had the same mental experience and thought about this man. So you're coming to ask me the same thing that these guys did to me. So who are you? How can I see that you're a different man? Why? Encounters. Sexual encounters. This lady had an experience of sexual encounter that was not giving her peace. She was bitter, she was guilty, she was shameful, she was angry about men. So when Jesus came on the scene, give me one of them. No, the same men come, the same how do you call it, vibes, eh? It's, hey, I love your cup of drawing water. So you come and ask me for water? No, I take give you water to drink. So because of encounters. But see what happens when this lady allows God to speak to her. In your healing, allow God to speak.
Wow.
When this lady allows God to speak, because she was giving a lot of excuses. Don't. When she said, oh, let me listen to you. Okay. So God says, I am a chosen person. Oh, God says, he has forgiven me. God says, I'm a royal priest. God says, I'm mother. God says that he has forgiven me. So when this lady accepted the communication to God, God said, you know what? There's a task that you've been having. And every day, you don't quench it. Because the man comes, the second man, even the one you're having now, I'm going to take a margin and share. So what you need to do is this, drink from me. The water I'll give you will never thirst again.
Wow.
Why? Anytime you allow God to speak in a situation, every dry well in us that we had about people, the traumas come and disappear. And this lady say, oh, okay, let me listen. Give me the water. She drank the water. What happens? She became the first person who was saying, come. I normally say this. She was the one who said, come, let me show you a man. Because they are men, but they are not a man. I don't know what she say, it has changed my life. So until you allow God to work in your life, you'll be seeing men and not a man. So anyone who comes in your life, you are a lady who has been traumatized sexually, you'll be seeing the same patterns in your life.
Wow.
So you see the first man in this man, the second man in this man.
They're just the same.
Yeah, the same. Or when God speaks to you and comes in your life, now you don't see men, you see a man.
Wow.
And you say, by the way, I've seen 10 men, but I'm getting married to a man who is different. So everything changes. The same way to ladies. If you allow God to speak to your life, you won't be seeing the same ladies around you. But like, by the way, I've seen a lady. So God speaks in our lives. He forgives our faults, like this woman. He takes away our traumas. And even the lady who was caught in adultery, the same thing happened. God, when I speak in your life, things changes. So allow me to speak to your life. The only thing is, if I did it in the past, God warns me, do not do it again. Go and don't
Still no more. Yes.
The same thing.
Yeah.
So that's why we forgive ourselves. Oh, God has forgiven me, so don't think, you know what? Because I've forgiven you, get out of the well. There are places that we are in that has given us that trauma. We are staying in the same situation, the same mental ability, thoughts. So we're still at the well. Until you move from that well, I think this should be my last point, is unless you get out of that well, meaning get out of that situation, get off your mind from what your mind is building around, you will never heal. So get out of the well.
Wow.
Get out of the well.
That's powerful.
Yeah.
You see, the book of 1 Corinthians, I'm not sure of the verse, it says that the sexual immorals and the things God has mentioned, they will not inherit the kingdom of God. And then ukisonga hapo chini, this is encouraging because God is saying, I know you've done all this, so I have washed you and I've sanctified you. That is how merciful our God is. And He just wants you to come to Him just the way you are.
I think if we allow God to, those are saying we're putting God in a, God can forgive other sins but not some sexual sin. But I think I've seen men who and ladies who had an experience in their past, but when they decided to allow God to work in them, and get off the shame and the guilt, they are walking free. I think when you walk with the garment, and that's why in most times when God was healing people in the Bible, He was telling them to take initiative. The man at the well, I've been there for 38 years. And when he was supposed to leave, God told him, "No, pick up your mat and go." So meaning, even as much as we are trusting God for forgiveness, this is our part. So when I'm taking up, like this woman at the well and this man taking up your mat and go, inamaanisha, get off that place that you've been doing it. So I take initiative of, if I've been maybe watching what is not right, that is affecting my sexual encounters, then move out. Then move from that place. So you must move, because some of us don't want to
step
move.
Of faith.
Yes. Some of us don't want to move. And that's why when God said, "No, I've washed you, I've cleaned you," because you think Isaiah 1:8 that talks about that though your sins are red as scarlet, I'll make them be white as snow. I normally say, when you're dirty, you go to the to bathe in a shower. When you come from that shower, do you still doubt yourself that you're not clean?
No.
In fact, what makes you feel like you're clean is you will not repeat the same temple that you wore in the daytime.
Exactly.
You're going to put the clean clothes because you're already clean. If you put on the dirty ones, you're like, but the way I'm sorry. Same thing. When God said, "I'll make you clean as I'll make your sin that are red as white as a snow," it means it's like I've just dipped myself in His blood. So when I'm coming out, I'm clean. So I don't need to validate, by the way, am I clean or not clean? That's what we normally do. But when you come out, like I come out of the washroom, of the bathroom, I know that I'm clean, put on the clean clothes, it means I'm clean. Same way. When God forgives you, you're already forgiven. He has already washed your sin. So when I'm calling God to wash away my past experiences and clean me from my past traumas, then I need to come out knowing that the way nimetoka ndani ya for the photo booth ya God, amenimulika kila mara. If you go for an X-ray, it takes a picture of, if it's the head, they do an X-ray of the head. So you come out clean yourself. But you see, you don't repeat the same clothes when you come from a shower. The same way. Because He has washed me, I don't go back to what I used to do. So I put off the old garment.
And that takes intentionality. Yes.
And that means, because one of the things I need to do is, even the pictures, some of us are still in trauma because you're having the same bracelet that I was bought for by this ex who did this to me. And like, I can't get off this bracelet, man, it's the best. I still have the same picture frame they bought for
that
me.
Will remind you.
So those reminders, I'm saying, just get them off. Give them out. If you can't give them out, please burn them. Because why should I remain with a watch that reminds me of my past sinful life? Because we don't want to we're getting from the shower back to the old clothes. But until you say, but I think in my past experiences, because some of us, I'm sorry, some of the people who are married, they're still having past, I can say, records of their exes. And that reminds you, they're still in bed with the man or the husband, they still remember the man. It might be a small thing. It might be even a necklace. It might be even a shoe. It can even be probably, if it's a man, maybe a kofia. You see, that reminds you, it affects your marriage, because anything that becomes a comparison, it affects your marriage. So, ingia kwa bafu, come out, take on new clothes. And even the Bible about you cannot put new wine in old wineskin, meaning if I have to be forgiven, I have to accept that forgiveness and then get rid of any that remains of the past. I got born again. If I got married, I took 1 year before dating any lady. Why? Because I said my past years before have not been good. I've been dating, but for fun and for probably sexual fun.
Yes.
Of course, I used not to engage ladies sexually, but it was just for flirting around. So I had to take 1 year. I told myself, no, this 1 year, no dating, no kukatia. I had to change my Facebook names. I had to change my Facebook accounts. Why? I had to accept God to wash me and get off what has been attracting me to sexual sin.
Wow.
Which people don't want to do. So that walk, okay. Nabado. This guy is still your Facebook friend on Facebook.
Yeah.
You're still inboxing one another. You're still seeing his posts.
Wow.
Are you seeing that? So that's why I insist, get off from the bathroom. So I had to do that. I had to change my Facebook name. I had to change my blog people. I had to change my Facebook name. So that when I see that name, I say, by the way, I have a covenant. So after that 1 year, then when I took a step to get now married. And I said, when I get into the relationship, any lady I'll start dating, don't tower. Why? I made that choice. Because say intentionality. Pick up your matter and go. So get off these things, then pick up the right thing, then say, because some of us want to date immediately if we get from a breakup, we talk about heart, niko hiyo depression because of this man who I loved so much. Alikuja na akamaliza na kaenda. Then I say, I want to revenge. Because you see, you want to revenge sin. That's what people do. Yeah, you want to revenge him because he did this to me. Even me now, I don't care. So I want to go out. But they affect us. They affect us so much. So I'll say, work on yourself. Forgive yourself. Even as you forgive yourself, accept God's forgiveness. And because He's already forgiven you, He has no records of wrong. Wow. So pick up a mat and go. Sin no more.
Sin no more.
Yeah.
Powerful.
Yeah.
That is very powerful, and you've even given us practical examples that I know so many people can relate.
People think that, you see, you can get off these sexual traps by just confessing. I normally say sexual sin. We don't manage our sexual purity. We rule over our sexuality. When you rule over it, means you take authority. But some of us, we manage. So when you're managing, you give a leeway.
It can control you.
It can control. Then you're like, I can give it. So these are 50-50. But when you rule over it, means you take authority over your sexuality.
Wow.
And that's what people need to do. For you to be able to maybe go over sexual traumas, rule over those traumas.
Wow.
Meaning, put them under the feet. Tell them that, no, I know I did this, but I will not be a slave to this. It happened in the past, yes, but do you know what? I am a child of God.
Yes.
I have the mind of Christ.
Yes.
I have been born again. I've been renewed. So anything that comes to me about the past, I'll tell you, no, the past is in my past. I am a new creature. I want to rule over my life. So if I allow God to rule, then we become the ruler, because we give authority to trample over scorpions, snakes, and serpents. So even sexual sin and traumas are part of what you do trample on. So me as a two traumas are there, but work on them.
Work on them.
But you can't work on them. Allow God to work on them.
Yeah. Collaborate with God.
Collaborate. In fact, be in God's plan.
Yes.
Yeah. Don't invite God.
Yeah.
God also has to redeem. Because some of us, you see, when God redeems us, attack it in particular to redeem. But now some of us are like, God will for sure, but He redeemed us. He forgave us. So when He has already forgiven you, He's redeemed you, then align yourself with the same. I normally use, I love using examples. When I have a small baby, when she's asleep in the house, on the couch or whatever, all of you keep quiet. So when you go to sleep there, kama melala, kama ni mama yake, you go and sleep pole
asiamke.
That's what God has done to us. He already redeemed us. So it is us to just go and sleep close to Him and tell God, thank you because of that. Because He has to set free. But see, no. Just align yourself. God, since you set me free, I am safe in your arms.
Yes.
Yeah.
Powerful.
Redemption. Redemption. One day we need to talk about redemption. Some of us are not redeemed.
Yeah.
But you're preaching this. But we can talk about the way jana nilikuwa wapi. 20 years ago nilikuwa wapi? Because until you're redeemed, you can't be able to lift people where they're supposed to be. But traumas are very powerful. They affect our marriage. I've said they affect our teenagehood, and they affect even our life to come. Yeah, and they affect the way we view this gift of sex. It's supposed to be enjoyed. It's supposed to be enjoyed in the marriage context. But if you don't do it right, nasema tu ataikwe. Since nilianza so what can I do nifunguke? Yeah, kuna kufunguka kwa Mungu. Yeah. So thank you so much.
Thank you for coming. There's something you're working on. There's a youth camp.
Oh yeah.
Maybe you can just talk about that.
Yeah, I was telling someone that teens are at my heart. Anything teens, if I see a teenager, see any school uniform somewhere, that's about mtoto. Hope I could safe.
Okay, I know.
Yeah. So we're doing this teens camp for the last 5 years. We have a teens camp coming up on 5th to 9th of November. Jaza Resort Naivasha. So we invite everyone to come. Our theme for this camp is called A Chosen Teenager.
A Chosen Teenager.
From the book of 1 Peter 2:9. And we have amazing speakers coming on just explore this theme and be able to work with these teenagers. Our camp is always limited, only 50 students. So it's filling up. So if someone is interested, contact me. Yeah.
Thank you for coming, Mentor Douglas.
Thank you.
You are such a powerful, can I say resource or source? God's vessel.
Yes.
May God continue using you.
Amen.
So that you can even help other people. Because the beauty of knowledge is when it is shared.
Yeah.
Yes.
This will be an amazing thing, amazing work.
Thank you.
I love what you're doing.
Thank you.
May, as you unfold the truth and the experience of people, may God unfold into your life.
Thank you.
Yes.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, and thank you for having me. You've been having an inter-campus program. I think you've been able to be part of it.
Yes.
Intervarsity program, just helping the young people in the campus to understand God's purpose for dating, courtship, and marriage. And it's working miracles. And we thank God for that.
So that they can relate well.
Yeah.
When they relate well, they'll marry well.
Yeah.
And when they marry well, they'll stay married.
Stay married, yeah.
Yes.
That's the thing.
Thank you.
So thank you so much. May God bless you. This is very good.
Thank you.
Yeah.